4 minutes.
Oh.
It works like that because it's got all the color behind it.
Sure.
That font.
Yes.
Yeah. Doesn't work by itself.
It's a variation that I need maybe for the website. I mean, it's not that
No,
bad.
no, we just
for
use
the
a bold
website,
font.
yeah.
That's all. Arial
Yeah.
bold. That's all.
And,
Yeah.
and I've used just the cooks right now as the symbol on the YouTube channel, right?
Okay.
But maybe we want to think of having Miss Calabash's face as a kind of a cartoonish thing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Yeah, we might wanna
yeah.
look at a different,
What do you
logo.
call it, like an emoji of
Different,
her,
Mhm.
right? And then we use that everywhere.
yeah.
So I
Okay.
think there's apps that actually take your face and turns it into a cartoonish. I think we have to look at that.
Do you know if somebody's got that software?
Oh, it's free to
pick
free,
it up.
free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll take a snapshot just of her face today and then make a nice emoji for that.
Yeah.
Point that everywhere.
Yeah.
We'll bring it up, Maggie. We'll bring it
We'll
up.
bring it up. I'm going to get some different business cards done then,
Just
obviously.
keep doing the great job that you do.
Oh, yeah.
Cook some good food.
Oh, aye.
Put the whammy on them, Mags.
There's plenty of whammy to put on this week.
Oh, you gotta have your whammy going.
2 minutes to go. 2 minutes to showtime. Looking good. Full of energy today. We're doing a buttered cod or
A buttered cod or haddock in a skillet.
yeah.
Yeah, with tomato, mozzarella and couscous salad.
2
I'm,
minutes.
I'm working on the theme that we don't want too much heat in the kitchen.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't that a
Do you
bit
need,
low?
do you need
low?
that fan on right now?
We can switch it off if you like.
That's the AC, right?
Yeah, you
Can
can
you hear
switch.
the AC at all?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
You-
Okay,
you
so
can-
we're good.
You can switch it off if you like.
No, leave it.
Okay.
Okay.
It's fan noise. Sorry.
Yeah, it's. I don't think that's bright enough on the face, is it?
Well,
You wanna
I
turn
can
it up
maybe
just a little
boost,
bit?
I can boost it maybe
Yeah.
at that.
Do you want me to move the table back?
No.
I think this could be like brought in, maybe just a bit closer like this.
Just a hair up.
That's pretty bright there.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
That's good. Don't want to be
1 minute.
washed out. It's like the saturation is
Oh,
low.
we'll
eh?
start early. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hi. Welcome to Mrs. Calabash Cooks. I'm Maggie. Come into the kitchen. We don't seem to have the boys playing in the background. Come on, boys. Come on. The cameraman's not doing his job right. Fire the producer. Right, we've got it. 20 bucks. We're there. Hi, Jabor. Sorry about that. Fire him. Have a word with him. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye now. Bye. Short but sweet. Short but sweet this week. Hi, come into my kitchen. I'm Maggie and welcome to Mrs. Calabash Cooks. Now, we've still got hot weather. The kitchen, my kitchen isn't very well ventilated, as I've said before. So I don't want too much heat in the kitchen, and yet I'm sick and fed up of just eating cold food. So today I thought we'd do, this is a buttered fish. I've called it buttered cod or haddock, but you can use any firm fish. A baza is really good in there, or a pollock, something that's firm. But fussy for nickety pantser will only eat halibut or haddock. You have to get a mortgage out really to eat halibut at the moment. So I'm using haddock. And it's cooked into a skillet, very, very quick. Fishes will like instant food. And with it, I'm going to make a tomato, mozzarella and couscous salad. Now you'll probably find that my recipes within the next few weeks are all tomato based. we've got masses of tomatoes in the garden, and this is just a sample. We keep picking them every day. We've got so many, it's not true. Sorry, there's a phone in the background. Can somebody just kill it, please? Sorry about that, folks. We thought we'd switch them off. So I'm going to make the couscous first. Now, last week you saw me make couscous, so you know what I'm going to do. So at the back of the stove, I've got the stock. This has been boiling. I'm just going to put it on, come on, light. I'm just going to make sure it's boiling on the front here. It takes about 10 minutes for it just to absorb all the liquid. Now, I have got another pan of liquid on because today I'm using a whole wheat couscous, and that will absorb a little more liquid. And I'm using a chicken stock today, but you could use a vegetable stock, chicken stock, or just plain water. I like to add just a little bit of flavour. So this is going to come up to the boil. Let's just leave that there. I'm coming back over here. I've got my couscous. You can see that's a whole wheat couscous. And this is pesto. Now, I chose a green pesto today, but you can have a red pesto if you prefer. So that should be, there we are. And look, I've got a new spoon. My old spoon bit the dust. I had to wish it goodbye. It's been with me for years and years and years. I have my recipe here, and you can see everything's been ticked off as I prepared it. So I've got the boiling water. I'm going to put our stock. I'm pouring that over the couscous. So you see it's quite liquid. Add the pesto. And I'm going to put this just over here. Let's just stir that. Now, I think I'm going to add to this just a drop more liquid. It's already looking pretty solid, and we don't want it too hard. Just a drop more liquid. We'll just cover that with some cling film or some aluminium foil. Put it on one side for about 10 minutes, and by then it will have absorbed all the flavours. Couscous is almost instant food. I love it this time of the year. I use it as a base. As I said last week, I make up a bowl, I can reheat it, I can use it as a base for other foods, and it's there, it sits in the fridge. Now we're just going to put that on one side for a few minutes, and we're going back to the stove now, and we're going to make the fish. As you know, we live in Merrickville, so that is about an hour to an hour and a half away from Ottawa, so it is a little bit difficult for us to get fresh fish. So I use frozen. And this is frozen haddock. Nice pieces of frozen haddock. So just pat them dry like that. And the secret to fish is not overcooking. Now, when you're buying fish, if you're lucky enough to be able to buy fresh fish, it shouldn't smell. You shouldn't walk into the store and know exactly where the fish department is. The eyes should be nice and bright. The fins and the scales are nice and bright. And it should have no smell to it at all. I was lucky growing up in England. I was near the coast, And when I lived in Devon for a while, I was actually just across the road from the sea, from the ocean. So I used to watch the fishermen come in, dive down to the beach, what have you got? And I could buy a whole turbot, and oh, those days have gone, unfortunately. I really, really miss them. Ah, never mind. So, you see I'm testing the top, as usual, just to make sure that, that it's nice and warm before I put my butter in. And I need about 2 tablespoons full of butter. So let's just add that like that. Unfortunately, margarine doesn't really taste the same for this. And I'm going to add just a drop of oil in there so that the butter doesn't burn. I don't want the butter to burn today. So there we are. Swirl it round, and we're going to put the fish in. I would recommend it that you put the skin side down to begin with, just as a preference. Now you want to make sure that your pan is big enough so that it can all just sit in one place like that. Oh dear, it's been one of those weeks this week. We're having new flooring put in, and what we thought was going to be a maximum of 2 days, 1.5 days, has turned out to be a 4-day job. But first of all, they have to put cement down, which has to dry, flooring, hardwood, cement, which again has to dry, and now they're going to come and do the tiles. And that's fine, but have you ever tried putting 4 dogs in a room for about 4 hours whilst it all dries? Not fun. So it's been quite the challenge this week. And I've got some seasoning here. And this is garlic powder, salt and pepper and paprika. And I'm just going to rub. I like just to do it like this. And we're going to put the rest of the seasoning on the other side when we turn the fish over. Now this fish isn't going to take long to cook because it's not very, very thick. If you've got fresh fish, it would be possibly a little bit thicker. I'm going to let that cook just a few more minutes. Well, not minutes, but seconds really. Let's just have a look. I just want it to brown a little bit. There we are. We're going to turn this over like that. Try, because this fish is a little bit thin, some of it, so try not to break it. Just turn it over very, very gently. So you can see I've just turned the fish over. We've got butter there. I'm going to turn down the heat a little bit. A little more seasoning, like that. Just a little more seasoning. And now, let me just rinse my hands. And now we're just going to put some butter over the top of the fish, and that's going to cook. So little pieces of butter over the top of the fish, and the butter's going to melt into the fish and cook the fish. That's if I can get it to stay on the fish. There we are. I like to rather than one big piece of butter, I like little pieces of butter on there. I must confess, I prefer butter to margarine any day, and with being a diabetic, I really do have to watch my cholesterol, and we've had some really good prices of butter lately in the stores, so I've been eating butter rather than margarine or a soya base. And I had to go to the doctors for my dreaded annual checkup, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I think every part of me was tested with a blood test, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, she's going to find the cholesterol's way up. And the doctor read the report, and she said, oh dear, and I thought, oh my goodness, what's wrong now? And she said, what are you doing? So I thought, she said, everything's perfect. I thought, whew, breathe a sigh of relief, zen. Whew. So eating the butter in moderation is really good for you. In fact, it's probably better than eating the margarine. I'm going to just baste the fish with a little butter, and this, because all the spices are in there now, the seasonings, and that is almost cooked, but we don't want to waste that. And the fish will just flake easily when it's cooked. You see? That, I'm going to turn that right down. I don't want it to cook much more, just keep it warm. So now it's back to the table and we'll finish off the salad. So you can see this is a really, really quick, easy meal, very nutritious, no heat in the kitchen. So we're now back to the salad, and let's have a look, see how this has, yeah. And you can see, even with the extra moisture that I put in, that it's still quite firm. I need a fork. Excuse me. There we are. And so I'm just going to fluff this up like this, because it's still warm, and you can eat this either warm or cold at room temperature. With having the fish warm, I do like it quite warm actually. So now we've got to make the dressing for the couscous. So olive oil, a little vinegar, just whisk that to make an emulsion. You can see how it's changed colour. Pesto. We're going to put the pesto in there. And we're going to add this to the couscous. And actually, if you add it whilst the couscous is warm, it's going to absorb more flavour. I'm going to check this for seasoning now, because it can be a little bit bland, and that's why I use some stock instead of just plain water. And because I added a little more water to it, I've probably diluted the flavours a little bit. Let's just clean the board. Have a taste. I think it might need something. That's rather nice, but a little bit of my special seasoning. Now don't forget, this is 3 salt to 1 pepper. That's the ratio. Doesn't matter if you use teaspoons, tablespoons or ounces. It's 3 to 1. 3 salt to 1 pepper. And I just keep it in a little pot like that by the side of the stove. That's better. It just brings out the flavour. The tomatoes are being harvested, but unfortunately the lettuce is right at its end. I think that will be the last of the lettuce. Now on the recipe you'll see I've got I've put that you can use mixed greens. Well, it just depends what you've got in. I've got lettuce. I'm going to use lettuce today. We've got mozzarella cheese, which I've sliced, and we might do a little bit of fancy with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some lettuce in there and add the couscous. Mix these up together. We can add a little more lettuce. If you've only got lettuce in the garden, then get some, pick some chives or something else to put in there. It's just to add a little bit more bulk and flavour. Now I should have used a larger bowl, so there we are. That can be used, that's great, that can be used for me during the week. I eat couscous in summer instead of rice. So now, tomatoes. You see, we've got a variety of tomatoes here. These are ones with the pointy tomatoes. I don't know what they are, but they're a beautiful flavour. I've got little tomatoes, another pointy tomato. Let's use a pointy. The recipe, it says a cup of tomatoes. I'm just going to put tomatoes in. We've got them in the garden. So I'm just going to slice the tomatoes. The little ones can just be sliced in half. These are really, really sweet. And we've got lots of little tomatoes. Every time I walk by the tomato bush, I eat one. So at the moment, my vitamin A and D should be really, really good because I'm eating tomatoes at every meal. So we've got another one there and another pointy tomato. Let's just take out the core. I don't mind the core, but some people don't like them, and so we'll just, you see how these were picked this morning, so they're beautifully fresh, fragrant. I am getting to the stage where I'm going to have to start freezing the tomatoes, making tomato sauce for the winter, because we do have quite a lot. They're coming on fast and furious. So we've got the tomato. Let's put that juice in. Whoops. Now the mozzarella. First of all, we'll just mix this up a little bit. And we're going to check the seasoning again, because the tomatoes need a little bit of salt and pepper on there. So just a little, like that. Whoa, beautiful. Now I had a whole mozzarella, so I just cut it into slices. I've brought it out of the fridge because cheese is better brought out of the fridge for about an hour or so before you eat it. It comes to room temperature and all the flavours there. So just took, yeah, it's sticking together. Just poke room round the edge like that. And there we are. I love fresh mozzarella. And you could put a little bit of basil in with this as well, that would be great. But the pesto I'm using is a nice basil pesto, so we've got the flavour of the basil. Oh, it's not worth wasting it, come on. Just a little bit in there. And you know what? We've got some red pepper here, orange pepper, which would be nice to add a little bit of colour to it. Let's just take out the inside, like that. And whilst I'm doing this, I would like to thank everybody that sent good wishes to be passed on to my daughter. I said last week that her partner was in hospital in ICU. The good news is that he's out and he's home. Fingers crossed that he's on the road to recovery. It's been touch and go, but thank you everybody for all your good wishes. Lou in England was really quite overwhelmed, so I thank her for, I will thank her for her. I will thank you for her. It was so kind of everyone. So that is the tomato and mozzarella salad. Now we're going to finish off the fish. So we need a platter for the fish. So now you see the fish is a nice colour. If you overcook the fish, it's going to be all mushy and it's not very pleasant. So I like to, that piece doesn't want to come out whole, so we'll put it there. There we are. And I've got some fresh lemon juice here that I'm just going to drizzle over the fish. That's the juice of 1 lemon. Just drizzle it over the fish. Some chopped parsley. Again, we're looking for colour. We're looking for presentation. I've got parsley. You could use a mixture of parsley and chives. A little tarragon mixed in. Don't use too much tarragon because it is quite pungent. Now, we have some lemon. We don't need that anymore. Because the pieces of fish are quite small, we're going to put the lemon on. Now this is an old trick for lemon. If you want to make a butterfly, have a thin piece of lemon like that and cut almost, you'll see there's a little white piece of lemon, so cut up to that, and then you see it makes a butterfly. So choose your pieces of lemon carefully to do that. So you can make butterflies, lemon pieces, just decorate it. It was amazing how many pips were in this one lemon. I had to get the sieve out and sieve. There we are. That one will make a butterfly. There we are. So we've got lemon juice over there mixed in with the butter, lemon, and I think, let's have a look. What have we got in here? We've got nasturtiums, a little tarragon across there. We've got a nasturtium leaf, which is edible, like that. We'll put in there, and we'll put in a nice nasturtium. They're coming to the end, unfortunately. The leaves are turning brown, and the leaves on the trees are beginning to turn, and there's a smell of fall in the air. So we'll make the most of what we've got. So thank you very much for watching today. This is the fish, with the buttered fish, with the couscous, mozzarella and tomato salad. And so thank you very much for watching. I'll see if we can get the boys back again. Let's see. Yep, we're there. And also, we're there. And also, next week I've gone Indian. Next week I've gone Indian. Mahir Jeffries again has inspired me. We're doing a nice tomato curry with some simple rice. And can you credit it? I can't remember what I'm doing for the first course, but it's something. Oh, I know. Because in England we were out in India for a long time, the East Indian Spice Company, and this is an Indian dish, and it's an Anglo-Indian sausage patty. So I'm going to make the sausage patties, put it with a nice very quick tomato, because we've got them all in the garden, remember what I said, a nice quick tomato chutney, and just a plain simple jasmine rice. So look forward to seeing you next week, and bye everyone, have a great weekend. Bye.
Okay, we're out.
Okay.
So you could also just stop the streaming on OBS and then it would stop.
Oh, fair enough.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
So you're already